point probe is the check whether a point belongs to a function or not. So the question always is given a function f and a point p, and you need to check whether the point p belongs to the function f or is element of the function f. So the way to do it is you take the x value, you put it into the function, and then you will end up with a result of this in the function. So you see the functional value of the x is maybe 5, and then you see when the point also has the y value of 5 to this certain x value, then you know, okay, the point is element of the function. So basically, not too complicated, and I will show it step by step in the following video.
Hi guys, I want to talk about point probe and how does it work. It's actually not too difficult, but also when I learned it the first time I thought, oh my god, what is that? How can I solve it? But it's actually not so difficult. Point probe means you have a function and a point, like for example, a function and some point, and you should say whether the point is part of the function or not. So for example, you have something like that function is x, for example, and you should tell whether a point 5, for example, whether this point is part, we call it p, 5, whether this point is part of the function. And it's actually not too difficult, but you just need to practice a little bit and then you can do it quite easily. So we calculate, I want to show it with an example. So we have a function which is x, 6x plus 2, and we have a point which is 5 and 32. So this is the x part of the point, and this is the y part of the point. So if we want to draw it in a diagram, x and y, then we say 5 is x, so we say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, but here 5, and 32. Okay, this is a bit difficult, so let's just say here's 32, then we say okay, 5, 32, this is where our point is. This is p, right? This is point p. And the question is, we have also a function, whether the function probably looks something, there we have 2, okay, the dimensions are not so realistic, but maybe it looks something like this, but we want to know whether the function and the point are, whether the point is part of the function or not. So let's just have a try. F actually is also the y part, and okay, let's just insert it. So we have f of 5 is 32. That's our assumption. We can deviate, we can assume given the point, and we want to know whether this is true or not. So if we insert 5, 6 times 5 plus 2 should equal 32. In this case, we see 6 times 5 is 30, plus 2 is 32, 32 is 32. Okay, in this case, perfect. We see that the point is part of the function. Okay, point is part of the function. So maybe write something like p element function, something like this. Or maybe there's a question given in the exercise, is the point part of the function? And then you write a nice sentence, yes, the point p is part of function f. In this case, we just write something short, just to demonstrate it. So we have a second example, which is function minus 2x minus 3, and we have a point which is minus 1 and 1, minus 1, 1. Okay, this is the x part, this is the y part. As before, it's always the same, and we just insert it. So the assumption is it true? We have -1. Does it equal 1? Does it work? We just have a try. So we say f of -1 is -2 times -1 minus 3. Should be 1. So you can just calculate it. -2 times -1 is 2. 2 minus 3 is 1. 2 minus 3 is -1 is 1. Oh my goodness. This does not work. -1 is not 1. So, does not work. Right, maybe not. Not okay. P is not element F. Something like this. So of course depends what the exercise asks you to do. When they say is the point P part of the function F, then we write a nice answer sentence which says in this case no, P is not part of the function P. F in this case. This is how it works. It's actually not too difficult. It helps to visualize the function. Then you know what it does about, and you can maybe draw some draft to see is it possible, is it not possible. Depends on the difficulty. In this case, the functions are quite easy. Also the points you can just also calculate in your head. But if actually also the exercise is quite easy, you should always, in the exam or as homework, you should always do a little bit of calculation so that it's obvious, so that it's easy to follow your thoughts for the teacher or for the professor. If you don't write anything and you do a little mistake, then the teacher cannot follow, and maybe you could get some partial points or something. So it's always better to write down some calculations. So this is how it works. Point probe. Thanks for watching.
Practice makes perfect. Further exercises with solutions you can find on my website, which is www.worksheeps.com.